All right, what is going on, everybody? This is Hunter. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today, I am after hours at Funtown RV's PDI facility in Elkhart, Indiana, where they go through some units prior to shipping out to all of their different dealerships across the country. And this is one that's getting ready to go through their PDI process, but I pulled it off the line because I thought it was such an interesting floor plan. So first off, the model number is definitely a mouthful. It's the 2025 Cherokee Wolfpack CKT 27-12.5. I think that stands for Center Kitchen Toy Hauler with a 12.5 garage, but truthfully, I didn't pull up the specs prior to shooting this, so I'm going to put all those down in the description so that way you can see things like garage size and all of that. But I'll tell you what, I don't do too many toy haulers. I don't do too many travel trailer toy haulers at that, but I think this really reminds me of kind of like a horse trailer where there's a really good separation. I'm very curious to see what you guys think. So a couple things that I just want to show you here on the exterior that I thought was pretty darn unique because I don't see these every day, and I don't believe it's all that common. But you're going to have the generator prep right up here in the front, and I just think that that is super nice in a travel trailer toy hauler that you can have the generator right there in a very easy access location. Typically, they're going to be like over on the side, you know, or something like that, but I think that's pretty neat to have it there. 3-camera safety system prep. It's also going to weigh 9,071 pounds with an overall GVWR of 11,690 pounds. So you got, what was that? Roughly 2,600 pounds worth of stuff that you can load in this. So after your toy, not too much too crazy to go over, but 2,600 pounds is a fairly large amount for a toy hauler in general, or for a travel trailer in general. You have this nice slick fiberglass exterior. It's also going to be a Phylon, which is going to be an upgraded fiberglass as well. But anyway, all the specifications, like I just said, length, height, tank size, awning size, will be down in the description, along with a link for Funtown RV, where you can check out some different locations, you know, from Michigan to Texas. They even just announced that there's an RV business that they just got a location in Las Vegas that's going to be closing here pretty soon. Exterior kitchen, get yourself an ice maker, and then you also have a little you know, outdoor refrigerator. You could probably fit yourself about a 30 rack of Roonski in. I'll show you the pass-through storage here in a little bit. I'll also show you the toy hauler here in a second. Typically, I start in the toy hauler, but I think a little peek there is kind of good enough for now. But this is what I'm talking about, where it kind of reminds me of the horse trailer. The separation on this unit is fantastic. If you were to cut off this back wall where the bathroom is, I really think this would be an okay floor plan, you know, in and of itself. You have your recliners right over here. Really nice tall, high slides. Even though it's going to be a box frame, this is going to be a more kind of middle ground, you know, entry level to middle ground style brand. So it's not meant to break the bank. So the box frame with the seating really works. It saves some money. You know, you're good to go there. But you also have like heat and massage, and then accent lighting, which will glow up there underneath if I was hooked up to power. Right now I'm just on the battery. But slide height with me standing in the box, pretty darn nice. Around 6'3". You're also going to have windows on either side. So the side ones don't open up, but they have the mirrored reflective finish, which is pretty cool. Show you that on the exterior. And then you can see this middle one is obviously large and in charge and opens up. Flip around too. Each and every one of these does recline, and it is in a pretty good eye shot there of the TV. You're also going to notice you have a fireplace that puts out about 4,800 BTUs of heat. So an RV this size, it'll heat the entirety of this room and probably the bedroom, you know, absolutely no problem. Also, you're going to notice a place for some, you know, whatever those are, or, you know, things that you're actually going to use. And then, I mean, look at that. That is pretty darn cool. This is almost like a bourbon bar setup. I imagine setting up some lights back here, and that would be pretty darn cool. Some mesh netting. It's nice. I mean, you got a place for, like, you know, paper towels, spice racks. I mean, the work. It's a really good place for someone like myself, you know, where you can, you know, kind of do your thing with some guests that are coming over. Pretty darn cool. I also like how it's got an outlet there, but I mean, look at that. Not much beats that. I think that's pretty darn nice. You also got these little octopus guys, you know, hang a hoodie on me, and you're ready to rock. You also got a couple more, you know, maybe hang a dog leash or some keys. You got your strap in right here. You flip it around, and you're over to a pretty basic yet functional kitchen area. So you're going to have the microwave disposition right down here. So no oven in this model. However, you can have like a baking and air frying mode since it's an air fryer convection microwave there. 3 top burner to whip up all the fixings. 3 pull-out drawers, with the bottom drawer just being a hair larger. You're also going to see it's kind of that rough, tough kind of beat me up plastic right here as well, which, babe, if you're watching, I love you. Well, that looks nice. Oh, that feels good. That feels real good. I like that. That's pretty cool looking too. What do you guys think? I think that's nice. Haven't seen that one before. It's kind of like black glass, you know, insert, but it's got that material to it, that texture to it. Pretty darn cool. The Max Air fan, the control for that will be located right there, but that is going to be right here, so conveniently right above the oven to help suck out the steam or stink from whatever you're cooking. They also have a pretty fancy tub as well, so stainless steel bottom with a cup cleaner, and then you got the whoosh, 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 hitting those dishes from one angle, and then heated holding tank switch, so you can turn that on. It's going to be a 12-volt pad, so basically you can snap that on, and it's a 12-volt pad that heats up the bottom of your tank, so that way your tanks don't freeze. So you can use this a little bit earlier or a little bit later into the season. Right as you enter in the door, you got your fuse box right under the fridge here. It's also going to be a 10.7 cubic foot refrigerator. It's going to be a 12-volt. So you got enough room for, you know, maybe a week's worth of food if it's just kind of, you know, two of you. If you got a bunch of kids running around, you know, maybe an extended weekend. But you have a lot of good like stow and go space. Nothing wasted there. And I believe that's a 15K AC. So I'll show you the bedroom there towards the end. First, I want to go ahead and get to the bathroom and the toy hauler section. Make sure you like that. But wow, that's a pretty darn tall bathroom. You also got like a 6-inch tub down in there too. Porcelain foot flush Throne-A-Rooski. And then the tub, you know, I mean, it's not like you're not taking a bath by any means, but it's nice to have, you know, that 6-inch lip there. But I mean, you can be very tall in this thing. I mean, you're probably looking at, what would you guess, 6'10"? I'm about 6 foot or so. And then you probably got about 7 foot right here. You do have, you know, that. I'm not a huge fan of that, but, you know, it is what it is. Bowling gun, baby. Got yourself a little medicine cabinet. You also got yourself another little steamer stink sucker 3000 right there to help suck out the unwanted toots from the bathroom. You also got yourself the Suburban on-demand hot water heater, along with a couple outlets, a plumbed-in sink. No storage here up underneath, but you do have an access panel to get to, you know, all of your plumbing and all of that. I'd imagine probably your water pump will be located down there as well. And then you do have a window behind here, but it's one of those little snappers. So it's just kind of, you know, closed off right there. So that'll give you a good little, you know, added protection there from the sun. Control for the AC. And then this right here, if you're not familiar with it, it's a Bluetooth connection for the speakers. So if you want the sound to go through the speakers, like here in the back, you actually, dang, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 speakers back here. That's awesome. And the thing that I like about this too is you don't have to own a toy hauler or own a toy to make this useful. Like, it does have the 9 tie downs. I believe they're a 2,500 pound weight limit, but it's almost like its own kind of separate living room. You have this really nice big wide door right here. And then you have a back patio where you can kind of set up, play some cards, but you could also wall it off and use this as a secondary living room, like super easily. I could see a lot of people that have, you know, like want to do crafting and things of that nature. Like my wife, we're actually in the process of beginning to look into starting her own store. We've been lucky enough for things to be, you know, kind of going our way. And we think that we are going to do a book, plant, and crystal store. So, you know, wish us luck on that. There's obviously quite a few different licensings we need, and we're looking at spots right now. But we thought that would be a really cool thing. She does the whole shaman practice. But hopefully we open an online shop. But our goal is to do something that we can do together where we can go, you know, hunting around at different, like garage sales and whatnot, find these little funky planters and, you know, put a bunch of plants in places, then a bunch of books and a bunch of crystals. Just merge together the 3 things that she loves most, you know, outside of me. She's not going to sell me. Not for sale. But pretty darn cool. Sorry to go off on a little tangent there. I'm just excited. You know, love the wife. Love the dreams. Love the aspirations, baby. Dovetail finish right here. So you can't really see it because the flooring actually looks so darn good. But, you know, it does dovetail in. So it makes for a softer approach into the unit itself so you don't bottom out your toys. Really nice sized TV right here. A good sized desk. You know, obviously you see all the outlets. A place where you can allow the wind to kind of come in a little bit. And then tons of shelving here. But you're also going to have backup camera prep back here as well. So if you are putting some toys you know, you have the ability to see what's going on behind here, which I think is pretty darn handy. You know, maybe you got a pretty expensive toy, and maybe your toy is a little bit more expensive than your strapping skills are capable of. Bedroom, you know, nothing to sing home about, kind of basic. But you got emergency exit, pull, push, and plop. Really nice size window there. Nice size window here. You're also going to have a little bit of storage there. And then you're going to have USB and universal C along with your 2 outlets and a place for hanging clothing on both sides as well, along with the mesh netting. I like to see that actually, because you can use this now for a little bit more use, like when you're traveling. That's a screen door, so don't worry about that. Let's just go ahead and ignore that from your brain. Is that a 12-volt plug-in? Sure is. You got a 12-volt plug, so if you want to hook up like solar up on the top, you can run a 12-volt TV back here. TV backer, cable, satellite, you know, GFCIs, and then your hookups there. But I mean, what do you guys think? We're going to spend just maybe 3-4 minutes here on the exterior, show you everything that you need. But I think this is pretty darn cool. I mean, I don't do too many of these, but I'll tell you, it definitely does seem different. So if you got a little bit more experience with it, you know, drop a comment and let me know. But again, if I can get this right, it's the 2025 Cherokee Wolfpack Limited CKT 27-12.5. And to make life easier, like I said, I'll have that description for Funtown RV down in the profile link along with all the specifications. But I think it looks fantastic. We saw that generator box, but you're going to have a power tongue jack, 2 20-pound propane bottles, along with a room for 2 batteries and a battery disconnect. Plus, I like how you have the rock guard here up front to help along with some of the chipping. And instead of having fiberglass, that fine line fiberglass over here, you have a metal front cap over here. So smooth metal finish. Again, just to kind of help out with the longevity of things there for you. You do have your power stabilizers along with your LP quick connect right there. So if you want to hook up a grill, you can. Little leash latch for your furry friend, or maybe your drunkle down at the campground. He had a couple too many. You got to tie him up there. You got your 3-camera safety system. So you have one here, one on the other side, one on the back, and then I guess 4, because you can put one inside the toy hauler if you'd like. I like this MORryde setup. I mean, I think this is pretty darn cool. One, you got a nice little grill. You got your ice maker. The 30-pack of Runesky fits in there. And then you also have a spray port for water access out here as well. So if you want to put on one of those quick connect, you know, you're more than welcome to. 25-mile-per-hour wind-resistant door right here, along with the Solera 2000 series. So that's going to be a 12-volt awning. So that way you can, you know, control it even if you're not hooked up to power. You can just flip that disconnect. So that way you're, you know, you're running the 12-volt power and you're good to go. And just for the reference too, in case, 12-volt power, you can think battery, and then 110, you can think home. So pretty darn easy when you think about it that way. There's that mirrored reflective finish. Gives you a chance. I mean, you can see the, you know, the Rogue sitting there backwards. I think that's pretty darn nice. And you also saw the outdoor speakers. Here heading up the back, you did have another little leash latch and the control for your other stabilizers. But this one actually does have the backup camera. So again, I'm not overly familiar with this brand, so I don't want to tell you whether that's standard or not. So definitely make sure to check with your salesperson. You're also going to see the Lippert on-the-go ladder system, so you can get on top of your roof, you know, check your seals, check your slides, you know, all that kind of good stuff. This is going to be locked, but I believe it's going to be the fuel dispenser right there, assuming because you have this, you have to have somewhere to, yeah, it's a fueling station. I don't need to say anything else. But you got your gas pump right there, you know, which is nice. Should be about 20 gallons or so, you know, which is, you know, pretty standard. Right here, sewer outlet connection. Let's open this thing up. Well, look at that, little inside-outside access. I think that's pretty cool. You got your 50 amp connection, and then you can see right here, you have your dual axles along with your cable and satellite hookups. You are eligible to put on a slide topper too, by the way, if you would like. That's basically going to be a piece of awning that goes from here to here and prevents debris from falling on top of your unit. Low point drain underneath here. Sorry, another spray port right here for outside water access. Black tank flush, which is a sprinkler system for your poop tank. Fresh water, city water, and then the back end of that instant hot water heater. But all right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the tour. Again, my name is Hunter, and this is the 2025 Cherokee Wolfpack CKT 27-12.5. Bam, baby. Have a great day. See you next time. See ya.